For tonight's recipe, you will need jalapenos, an onion, 1 pound Swiss cheese, cream cheese, bacon, potatoes, mushrooms, ground beef, 1 pound, minced garlic, Montreal steak seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, shredded carrots, curly parsley, celery, chicken bouillon, milk, and some heavy cream. Hey foodies, welcome to Foodie Friday. My name is Keisha, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I welcome you. As you can see, you guys, I got all my prep work done. So we're ready to get started on this recipe. We are making one of my family's favorite soups tonight. This one is called Bacon Swiss Mushroom Cheeseburger Soup. It's a mouthful to say, but you guys, it is so good. So let's go on ahead and get started. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna start with a little bit of oil. I already put it in my pot here. And so I'm gonna start with this bacon, adding this bacon. Now you can use sliced bacon if you want. I just like the chunks and for it to be chunky. I don't know if you guys can see it all that great, but I have a new apron here that my cousin made for me. She's the same one who did the blue apron that says eat your colors. And this one just has my logo on it. I wore this one in honor of Valentine's Day week. This is Valentine's Day week. So anyways, you guys, I'm going to start that. And I'm also going to add these onions because I want these onions to caramelize. So I'm going to get these onions started so that they can caramelize. You know, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I eat a burger, I love, like, caramelized onions on my burgers. Especially, you know, when you go to, well, some of you guys are probably not from California, such as myself. But we have this place called In-N-Out. It's a burger place, and you can order your burger with grilled onions, which are caramelized onions. So that way you guys can see better down in the skillet. So yeah, I'm gonna let these caramelize and get all nice and good and translucent, and I'll show you what that looks like as we go along. And I want the bacon to be not necessarily crisp, but to have a good consistency to it, fully cooked. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that too as we go along. Right, to the onions and the bacon, I'm going to add these jalapenos. Now, I didn't put the seeds. I cut the seeds out. I'm not big on burning your mouth hot food. I do like spicy food, but not extremely spicy. So, by me cooking these jalapeno in at the same time that I'm doing this, the heat gets cooked out of the jalapeno, and what I'm left with is the flavor. So, that's what I'm after. Not so much, I didn't want this soup to be a hot soup, just a real flavorful soup. So, I am going to let these cook, and I'm going to get back to you guys when I'm ready to show you what comes next. Okay, you guys, so now you can kind of see that the onions are caramelizing and getting see-through. And the jalapeno is also roasting down and getting black edges. And the bacon is looking good too. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in my garlic. And you guys know, if you've watched me before, you know I love garlic. So I am not shy about putting garlic in something. I do not hold back. So I'm going to get the garlic mixed around in there so it can start getting fragrant. I don't want the garlic to get too scorched or anything, but this smells so good. Just let it in the heat. I mean, just put it in there long enough for it to get fragrant. And then I'm gonna add these mushrooms to this. And then I'm gonna add my ground beef to this as well. Okay, so while my ground beef is starting to cook, I am going to add in the celery to this. And the reason why I'm adding things in this way is because I want them to, certain things need to cook a little longer than other things, and I want a certain effect from some things like the onion. I want the onion to be really cooked down and caramelized in this, and barely noticeable as far as texture wise in the soup, but like the celery doesn't need that much time to get soft, and when I add the cream and do the base of the broth for the soup, then the celery will have enough time to get tender. So that's why I'm adding things the way that I am. The mushrooms, same reason. You know, I want the mushrooms to stand out and be a little heartier in the soup and not cooked way down where they almost disappear. So I am gonna season this with some Montreal steak seasoning. You guys know I love this seasoning. And of course, because I said already that I love garlic, I'm gonna add in some garlic powder as well. And then I'm also gonna add in some onion powder. I always say, you know, add a little bit and then go back in and add a little bit more seasoning if you need more, because you can't take it out if you over season. You can't take it back, but you can always add a little more to it if necessary. So, oh my goodness, this smells so good. Maybe it's just because I'm so hungry. This smells so good. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this cook a little bit more until the ground beef is fully cooked. And then we're gonna add in the next ingredients. So I'll be back. Okay, so now to this. It's kind of hard to see because of the steam, but it's, the beef is all cooked. Okay, so now to this, I'm gonna add in the carrots. Okay, and now after the carrots, we're gonna add the potatoes. Okay. And I'm just gonna mix this all around in here. That looks good. And then I'm gonna add in this parsley. Okay, now at this point you can do one of two things. You can get some beef broth or chicken broth to use in this soup, or you can use some chicken bouillon. So I love using chicken bouillon in my recipes for my soups and stuff, because it's like adding chicken broth. You know, you add your water and everything to it, and it's just like having chicken broth. Okay, so after that chicken bouillon, I'm gonna add in some hot water. Always remember to add in some hot water, not cold water, because when you're cooking and your pot is hot, you want to add hot water to a hot pot. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add in the rest of my things for my broth. So first I'm gonna add this cream cheese. Now you guys have seen me, if you've watched any of my other videos, you've seen that I usually chunk up the cream cheese and put in the pot. And I've said to you before that you don't have to do it that way necessarily. You can melt it ahead of time and, you know, add it into your recipe already melted. And so this time I'm just doing it that way instead of chunking it up like I normally do, just to show you a different way of doing this with the cream cheese. You'll get all the same results though. It'll all turn out the same. It's just, instead of me standing up here and cutting chunks, I'll just add it in like this. Okay, now to this I'm going to add in my heavy cream. About a pint. And then I'm going to add in some milk. Probably about, I'm going to add in probably about 2 cups worth of milk to this, and 1 pint of the heavy cream. So I want it to be thick and creamy. Right now I'm just gonna taste it to see if my seasoning is good or if I need to adjust my seasoning. Alright, now that tastes really good. So I am gonna let this come to a boil so it can start the thickening process, and for it to cook those potatoes and the carrots that I added and the celery to make those tender. So I will be back to show you what comes next. Okay, you guys, so I want to show you the consistency of this soup. The cream has thickened in here. The potatoes are tender and cooked through, and so are the carrots. And so it smells so good, but I don't know if you guys can see the thickness of this broth. It's not runny, it's just really good creamy, has like a really good creamy texture to it. I've let this cook for a good 30-40 minutes now, and so what I'm gonna do is I am gonna taste it to make sure my seasoning is good and adjust my seasoning. Okay, the seasoning is pretty good, but I want to add some more things to it. So I'm gonna add in a little bit more Montreal steak seasoning so it'll have more of that pepperiness to it. Okay, and then I'm gonna add in a little bit more garlic powder because, like I said, I love garlic. I do. tastes really good. I love garlic on everything. And then some more onion powder. And I'm gonna mix this in and see how this tastes. And if I need to add anything else to it. Okay, the only other thing I'm gonna do is add just a little bit more of this chicken bouillon. Because the flavor is just right there. So I'm gonna get this all mixed in. I don't want it to be too salty because when I add the cheese is gonna add to the saltiness of it. So I don't wanna make it too salty. But I do want it to have a great flavor. Okay, let's try this one more time. Oh, okay, yes. That is good. That is really good. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna add to this is the cheese, the Swiss cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. And I'm adding that whole 1 pound block of Swiss cheese to this. And we're just gonna incorporate this into this soup and let it melt down. Look at that. Oh man. Oh gosh. The smell of that cheese in here. Man, that smells so good. Okay, so I am going to turn this off and I'm going to let this sit for a good 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, just so that everything, all the flavors can marry, the cheese can fully melt down into this, and so that the soup broth can continue to thicken and just get really nice and silky. So anyways, you guys, I will be back when it's time to give my review. This is ready to serve. So you know what time it is. It is time to plate it up. Well, actually, I'm gonna put it in a bowl because, well, you know, it's a soup. It's supposed to go in a bowl. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and dish this up, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like all served up and give you my review on it. Okay, you guys, so I have this bowl of deliciousness right here. I already know, because you know I had to taste it to make sure that the seasoning was good, you know, so. But I'm gonna taste this for you and let you know what I think. Wow, it's so good. Oh my goodness. You can taste actually taste the Swiss cheese. The potatoes are cooked perfectly. The carrots add a slight sweetness to it. You know, all I need is some good bread. And I will have a complete burger right here in a bowl. Mmm. You guys, this is so good. You have to try this one. Definitely have to try it. This one is going to be a showstopper for you. Huh. Oh, let me get some of that bacon. Yeah. Mmm. Okay. You guys, this one is definitely a winner. You can't go wrong with this one. This turned out really, really good. Man, that parsley in there gives it another dimension of flavor. You guys, I don't know what else to tell you, except for this is what I'm feeding my family tonight. So I thank you for joining me. I thank you for clicking on this video, and let me know if you try this, what you think and how it turns out for you and what your family thinks about it. My family always love when I make this. And then I make another version that's just a regular cheeseburger version of this. Oh man. And it's always a favorite in my family. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And I'm gonna take this bowl and I'm gonna sit down and put something on YouTube and enjoy this soup tonight, because it is a cold night and this is a hearty soup for this type of night. So I will have another recipe for you next Friday for Foodie Friday. So as always, you guys, God bless.